I'm still here. It's an hour or two later, a couple of hours later, and I've come out of that room, and I'm readjusting to family togetherness time with the kids. And I did talk to them, and I did tell them that Daddy's been not himself, and that that I do love them more than anything in the world. But the other thing, when I'm there, it's just so powerful that. But in the end, it was the kids and my friends that brought me back. By a margin though, a narrow margin, much narrower margin than before. And I'm still here. So kids, we're having family together. They're very worried. They're very, very worried because, they know something is very wrong. I was locked in that room. I was doing a Nagita. I was locked in that room, and they were, they had food and water and, a litter box and stuff. But, sweetie, yeah. So they're, if you want to drink Agita's water, I think a book fell on it, so I'll freshen it. You got fresh water in your room too. But as I said to one of my friends in a text, I said, I did, I did sort of, not entirely, but for me, I did, on the binge, the kids, I did put fresh food and water, dry food, water, cleared the litter boxes when I could. But, they haven't had wet food now in like a day. So I'm going to have to do all of that and kind of come back to my responsibilities as a cat parent, and I'm gradually coming back, and I think they'll sense that because I wasn't myself, kids. That's the whole thing. Daddy wasn't himself. Daddy was possessed, but Daddy was a demon. So Daddy still loved you. He loves you no matter what. Daddy came back for you guys, but it was hard. It was harder than ever before, and I did try to give the water and the food and all of that stuff, the dry food. And I am here. I've been here for the last few hours, but I've been locked in that bathroom because I didn't want you to see what I was doing, and I wasn't myself. I wasn't able to, to interact with you as your dad as I should. But now I'm coming back. I'm more myself than I was, and I'm still here. That's the biggest thing. The biggest thing is that I'm still here. So hopefully, we've dodged another bullet. You guys won't have to be rehomed. Sure, my cat rescuer friend in the other province is very worried about. But still not completely out of danger, by the way, because okay, sweeties, sweetie, love you too. Love you, love the three of you more than anything in the world. But I'm not completely out of danger yet because I looked up online. Everything's online. I looked up online the dangers of 3.5 grams of cocaine, a ball, in a day, in about 12 to 14 hours. And they say, okay, I'm plugging it in. Yeah, it should be charging. But they say that consumed in one day, about 6 to 6.5 grams is likely to be fatal. Yes, but it depends on body weight, tolerance, age. Now, body weight, I'm okay. Tolerance, I think I might have built up. They're binges, but I probably built up. I haven't done this kind of, my previous binges used to be like a gram, 2 grams at most, a half ball, and that was like shared with at least one or two people. So the previous binges weren't very high in amount. I mean, they were disruptive, and it was still, a gram over a night or, whatever. And it was good. I mixed some other stuff too. And my sleep habits got, disrupted and not taking the meds and all of that. But this 3.5 grams entirely by myself, this is the first. over one day. So it's, and they say you're not likely to overdose on cocaine, but and as I said before, what the danger is it's especially at my age is a heart attack. That's what happened to Carrie Fisher, and she mixed Molly and cocaine, and at age 60 she had a heart attack and died. So the heart attack, and my doctor keeps warning me about that. She goes, there's a risk every time you do it, at your age. So there's that, or a stroke, or a seizure. So far, I'm not really feeling chest pains. I'm still, I'm coming down, but I'm not in a great shape. My nose is maybe quite fucked up, not surprisingly. And I was coughing a bit because, and I think I smoked a bit on, when people were smoking, which I haven't in 20 years. Well, occasionally, when I'm very high, I will have a cigarette. And this is over the last 6 months or so, or over the last, since the recursions. So, and then not eating and all of that stuff. So it's not great, but so far, no heart attack, no, no stroke, no seizure. So, but to be on the safe side, what I did was I texted my cat rescuer friend, local one, and I copied that to my friend in out of province, because I know that she really, really worries. Now, I kind of had to make a decision. It was like, if she reads what's been happening, she's going to worry more. But then if she doesn't hear from me, she's going to think I'm actually dead. So at least now she knows that I've went on a bad binge, but I survived, for now, and very likely will continue to do so. But just to be on the safe side, I sent a text to my cat rescuer, my local cat rescuer friend, just to say that if, she doesn't hear from me over the next day, to call the building people, just in case something happens. My out of province friend was thinking of doing that before at the first binge of this. It was like a series of binges, but she was ready to call the building people to come check on me to make sure that I was alive, So, but I said, I think we're going to be okay. I'm going to post these, and then I'm going to rest, because I'm not going to be able to sleep, and I don't think I can eat either. And I'm just going to, yes, sweethearts, they're upset. I'm just going to readjust to being a dad, remember my father duties. I didn't forget them. I just got overpowered. Just the thing where I was so powerful, because it's like you're right in it, But as I said, I came back marginally, but I came back for the kids and for my friends. Those are the two biggest things. So, and then the other stuff, they're wanting to publish, and so on, the stories. And when I was on the binge, like some people did, there were people in the underworld who did, worry about me, or I was very, very, very fucked up, but but there was some, there was some concern. And then little things like I didn't drive, so I took the TTC. And the guy, I was looking for change, and I had no idea how much it cost. And when the bus came, it was like, it said $4. So I'm looking in my purse, and he sees the state I'm in, and he just said, the bus driver said, "Don't worry about it, just get on." So it was obvious that I was in an altered state, and possibly he thought I was a homeless person or something, because of the way I was, dressed and the way he looked, and so he did, little kindnesses helped, So anyway, I'm back, and as I said, they're not completely out of danger yet, but I think if the worst was to happen, it would have happened by now. And I'm not, as I said, I'm not feeling any of the chest pains. Just, my nose is fucked up, and I've been coughing a bit, but that's that. Sweethearts, yes, they're, look at that. They're upset. They're, Naturally so, because their father almost didn't come back to them, and this is why I hate the feeling of not being yourself, of possession, of whatever, of that other world, of what one's doing becomes more important than the most important thing in the world, which to me are my kids. So anyway, that's, I guess, the nature of that beast, and it's getting worse. It's really getting worse. As my out of province friend said, whatever I've been doing, it hasn't been working. So we got to find something else, and I don't know what. Our first step is maybe changing the podcast and actually revealing a bit more, and making it, okay, since we're doing this, doing it publicly. Before I would say, I guess day 4 and day 5 and whatever, and it's been a bad binge, but I didn't really show it, and I didn't really, reveal the depth that that I went to and that addicts go through when So I think making it visual for others may help me, because I'm making myself a little vulnerable here, but I'm also getting the bathroom. This is where I was doing my stuff, and you can see it's empty. There's a $20 bill, and there's so it's done. That stuff is gone. But that's the thing. When you're on it, I've now reached the stage where whatever I have to consume. Earlier in the addiction, if there was anything left, it would be left over, because I wouldn't do it at home. It would only be on the binge in those particular circumstances. But now, it's like whatever is there, whatever I bought, it has to be consumed at once. So, and it's very dangerous, very, very dangerous to consume that much by myself at once, So, but it's done, it's finished, it's gone, and I showed the last line, and now I showed the empty, tray. By the way, that was a tray that my relatives brought for me from Paris. We joked about it when they gave it to me at Christmas. I said, you could do lines on that, and they were, they were like, no, don't use it for that. But it's really good tray for that. So anyway, that's here I am. Nutty Professor returns, but just barely. And I said this in the text to my friends, that this return tomorrow on is going to be the hardest return yet, because there's situations to deal with. The denizen of the underworld who has my phone, and my threaten me and stuff like that. So there's that to be dealt with, and there's and also the fact that I went deeper than ever before. Darkest journey. My local cat rescue friend mentioned the dark journey, and I think this was the darkest one yet. This is the darkest yet, because I went so far. Went so far in terms of the amounts, and also the second addiction, exploring the shadow, the activities, the netherworld activities, much more, and that's what happens when you go into that world. Most people, and this is what I say, most people are okay, but you occasionally come across people who've gone really, really far into shadow, and really, they are shadow. So it gets a bit dangerous. It has, so that surfaced a bit. But, and when you go to those levels, as I said, kind of, explored stuff that isn't extreme stuff, that isn't even covered in, extreme videos, So anyway, so but I've been there. I've experienced that aspect of my shadow, and now I have to work on not go integrate. You know, I got to get back to writing. I've got to get back to writing. I've got to try to publish because I've got so many stories, and that used to be my outlet. My outlet used to be I used to write, but I still do the journal entries, the very detailed journal entries, which but I don't. And over the last few days, I haven't done anything, because I've just been on it. However, these days I do the podcast, but the podcasts were somewhat whitewashed because I didn't deal with the details, so it didn't quite prove to be, it didn't quite process where I had been the way that writing did. Because my podcast didn't really show the details. And now, even in these ones in the Darkest Journey series, I'm not revealing a lot of details. I'm trying to be, but I've mentioned the substances. I've shown possibly the substance, whether it was a real substance or a fake, whatever, But I've talked a little bit about where I go without details. I mean, just I've mentioned a little bit of the second aspect, which before I had really touched on it very lightly, and most people wouldn't have known. That's what my friend in the other province said, that she wouldn't have known what the second level was. If she when I mentioned she said she would know, but that was only because she already knew. If that's making any sense. But look, I've been up for a long time, and I haven't eaten or taken my diabetes meds, and I'm just coming down off of 3.5 grams of cocaine. So I'm being more coherent now than I was when I was on the binge. When I was on the binge, when I was, interacting with people, I was really fucked up. I could barely put two words together. That's what happens to me. I regress. And again, I don't really share that in podcasts. I haven't until now. My friends know what happens to me, but I really, really regress. And serves a purpose, I guess. This goes back to early psychosexual stages of development, Freud's oral anal stage, all of that stuff, before the formation of the ego. So, but it's not serving a purpose anymore. It's just, it's not learning enough. Anyway, you know what? I'm not being coherent now, so I'm just rambling. But the news is not good, but it's good in the sense that I'm alive. I'm still doing this. So I will try to podcast again tomorrow, just to let my very few friends, and viewers know that I'm on the return. Now I have to figure out how am I going to return. It's like, what am I going to do? Rechanneling and it's going to be harder than ever before, and damage control and all of that stuff. But I'll do it. I'll do it. Just because I can't go back here. I cannot. And maybe having gone public with it will make it harder. I'm hoping that. So and then the kids. I mean, they worked, but just marginally. Just marginally. The kids and my friends, as the pushes worked to keep me from going out again. And get or arranging another level of the binge rather than coming home. I did come home, but just barely, and then I used up the stuff. I did use up the stuff, so that's not good. It's not a good sign, So I probably would not survive another one. This is, I barely survived this one just by the skin of my teeth, So I really have to do everything I can. I'm not sure what. Not 12 steps, because I've said before, if the choice is 12 steps or death, I would choose death, because I'm not going to become a praying zombie, chanting zombie, the higher power and all that stuff. That's not my way, So I'm not sure how I'm going to do this, but I'll find a way. I usually do, So anyway, I'm really hoping the podcast, this level of podcasts, that revealing more will be more of an incentive, and um, so now when I podcast, people will know what I'm battling, and will it'll take the podcast hopefully to another level, and maybe make them more effective, make them more like the writing. And also, I need to get back to the writing. So, and then the usual rechannelings. I gotta uh, go to the house. I gotta take the mini. I canceled that. I was gonna do that, and right now, I think I just need to readjust with the kids, just reassure them that the daddy is coming back, at least, if not completely back, but coming back. The father they know and trust is still there, but it's just been in a bad place, and But I'm going to come back, slowly. Anyway, if you've still been watching this, and I did apologize to my friend in the text also that if I do post these and they watch them, it's going to be a little hard, But and that's sort of an incentive to stay clear, because I don't want to put my friends through this, again, so anyway, if you've still been watching, don't worry if you are a friend, if you are one of the few friends, one of the few viewers that the Nutty Prof has. I'm going to give it my best shot. I had a thing on my fridge, which maybe I should have another look at, but and I wrote it. This was my local cat rescuer friend had said after a podcast, after the recursion in September, and I had said in the podcast, I am not going to fuck this up. I'm going to battle with everything I have. So hail the Nutty Professor Rashid. It's not a question of battling anymore. It's a different game. It's not, it's not even a battle. It's something else. I'm not sure what it is. I'm going to have to work on the metaphor and but it's if it is a battle, the other side has had a lot of wins. So I have to, yes, sweetheart. Yes, sweetheart, I know. I have to win something now, and it's going to be a hard one, because it's going to be like day by day. It's going to be even when I was finishing the stuff, I was like thinking about how do I get more. But I'm not going to. It's done, and I've done the last line. I showed the last line. I showed the empty tray. So tomorrow, just rest. Just going to rest and eat. And to go pick up the car. I got to take the cab, pick up the car where I left it. That's the only good thing I did on the whole thing, was that I didn't try to drive. And that's been a major principle. That's been in all of these binges, is that I've been very careful about not driving under the influence. But anyway, look, this is not going anywhere. I'm just rambling, and I'll maybe try to write a little bit, just a different medium, and I can maybe reveal some details in there that I haven't in here, even though I have revealed more details than I normally did. But anyway, the Nutty Professor is going to give this all he has, and try to, do this day by day, one paw in front of the other. It's going to be very hard, but we'll do it. The kids and I will do it. Kids, I'll do it with the kids, And they, as my friend had said, they've really stepped up their game. I mean, the fact that Agita's tolerating the babies and they're all in one room, and they're, they know what I've been going through, and they've been doing what they can. So it's now my turn to reciprocate and do what I can, to stay here and look after them. Anyway, bye for now. Nutty Professor and the 3 very worried kids. Bye for now.